Hello, welcome to Cinema Savvy, and welcome to a relatively impromptu reaction video. It's been a long time since I've done a reaction video, and I believe this is the first time that, George, you've jumped on a reaction video, especially a live one. It is 1:30 in the AM here in the UK, and normally we'd always wait, until like a full day or something to do something like this, but when a Christopher Nolan trailer drops, you kind of have to immediately get to it. And I don't want to drag this intro out at all because I think we both just want to get to the trailer. But this is a special moment in our lives right now, so it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to delve into it too much because I can't believe I've already waited 10 minutes. We didn't watch it on Fortnite. I'm not 8. Fortnite was great at a point, and then it got outdated very quickly. Anyway, the highlight of watching Rise of Skywalker at the BFI IMAX was the Tenet prologue. That tweet in December got like 200 likes or something silly, but it was true. It was the best moment of 2019, that 6-minute prologue. And we are here 5 months later with an unconfirmed release date because they've took the 17th of July off all marketing today to just put in theaters. But we have a Tenet trailer. We're going to do a live reaction. I have it downloaded, so I know there's a boat. It's not Dunkirk. This is Tenet. And yeah, Chris, I am ready to react.
Now, how's the audio going to work for this thing? Do you want me to unplug my earphones so we've got a little bit of audio from it, or is that going to create echo? Because otherwise it's going to be silent on the video of people watching at home.
That is a very good point. Are you able to unplug yours? Sorry,
I can unplug mine. Hopefully it's not going to throw off yours, but if we do it in time, then we should be fine.
This will be fine with me. If that's got an echo, that's absolutely fine. So I am ready. We've got people in the comments, so I'm going to press.
Messing around with my audio levels as we do it. So people watching, please let us know if you can still hear us talking over the top of it.
Definitely.
Okay.
So going live in 3. I've never done this. It's going to be weird. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, there we go.
It'll open the right doors. Or the wrong ones too. Be careful.
To do what I do, I need some idea of the threat we face.
As I understand it, we're trying to prevent World War III.
I'm not saying Armageddon here.
No.
Do you reckon this is music from the film?
Yeah.
How do you have an interest?
Oh, Michael Caine.
Russian national.
Oh, wow. And then we see Batman himself.
You can communicate with the future. Time travel. No. Inversion.
Aim it and pull the trigger. You're not shooting the bullet, you're catching it.
I've seen too much. Well, we'll try and keep up.
Your duty transcends national interest. This is about survival.
Seems bold.
Looks like the corridor fight there.
How would you like to die?
Old.
You chose the wrong profession. Well, that happened here.
Hasn't happened yet.
There are people in the future who need us. I need Tenet.
We need to save them here and now. It's reversing the flow of time. Wasn't us being here now. It never happened. You want to crash a plane, but not from the air. That was so drastic. Well, how big a plane?
Oh, wow. Wait, they're not going to crash the plane. They're going to catch the plane because it's inversion. Or they're going to land it. They're not going to crash it. They're going to land it in inversion. It's not flying. It's falling with style.
Slow.
I.
How do you normally do this?
Usually I have something to talk about. I've just watched a 2.5-minute trailer, which is usually sufficient, and I feel like I know less now about this movie than I did before I watched the trailer. This looks mad. I still, it's weird. I don't know anything about the plot still. They talk about Russian nationals, Kenneth Branagh speaking with a Russian accent. You've got British, like posh sounding Batman, and then they crash a plane at the end. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts with this? Did this live up to the hype of the trailer? Has it got you intrigued?
I'm certainly intrigued. I think because of the prologue, because I've seen things, I still don't have a clue what's going on. I don't know the plot. Yes, they're going to stop World War III. We hope they do. The thing that's kind of hit me the most was the my favorite font's gone. No more from the director of The Dark Knight. It's not just a black screen anymore. It's shattered glass.
I quite liked that though.
Yeah, that was like the biggest, like, not middle finger, but that was like, I am Christopher Nolan. I did Batman. I did Dunkirk. I did Inception. Guns, they're really nice from the director of. Now it's like, here is the film. You've seen it. Yeah, it felt a bit new. It felt nice. I don't have a clue what's going on. I'm intrigued because the inversion. I'm kind of. I don't really know. Like,
I think it is very Inception-y, I think more so than any of his other films. I think you can draw a fair comparison. The plot is probably obviously going to be completely different, but the time travel, bending physics, things playing in slow motion or in reverse or whatever, that's very Inception to me. And it looks quite Inception in tone, how you've got this kind of almost like espionage kind of team doing a task. I know obviously with Inception it's planting an idea in someone's head, but it's like you've got that ensemble team initially, so it looks very similar in that regard. But I mean, there's going to be stuff in this movie that's just going to be incredible to watch. There looks like there's another kind of corridor fight, but stuff's playing in reverse. I still don't quite understand that. I'm sure I probably still won't understand it when I watch the film, that it's not time travel. That's going to be my takeaway from this trailer, is going to be that line, the whole inversion thing. But I don't know. It's mad.
It feels different, like the reverse. I mean, the car chase, big thing they changed from trailer 1. It went from random bloke in a mask counting down to 1 to Gilderoy Lockhart's face showing, counting down to 1. So there's been some trailer switcheroos there already. I still don't know what to expect, because Gilderoy Lockhart's. Who would have thought that Kenneth Branagh is going to be the villain?
Well, that we know of.
Russian. Right now, well, yeah, true. Like you mentioned Inception. I think that's a really good start point, because this looks like the most like Inception. Obviously, Interstellar was sci-fi out there, space. Dark Knight was Dark Knight, Batman superhero, Prestige period piece, Dunkirk period piece. This is like modern, but it looks like a new take of, not modern to the point of Russians are attacking, we got to stop World War III. Yeah, okay, maybe it is that, but this is a new idea that I haven't comprehended yet. That I'm probably not going to. Was this what the Inception trailers were like? Like, I've said this to you guys before, that Inception's like the one film I never got to see at the cinema. And whenever the BFI get to show it at the IMAX, I was there's the famous story in my household was, obviously I was into film in 2010, and my parents were going to take us to the IMAX in Birmingham, which was our closest one. And then my sister said, too many people said this film was confusing, so we didn't go. We had to go to a zoo. So I never got to see Inception. Because obviously at that age, I didn't have a job. I was like 13. And I got the DVD at Christmas, so I watched it at Christmas. So, but also it wasn't really like the online sort of thing. I didn't know the discourse. I just knew of this. There's this film about dreams, and it blew up everyone's mind. I feel like I'm going to witness something similar, but I don't have a clue what's going to go on. I don't know what's happening, which is the best way to head a trailer, because I'm sold on the plot. You've had some big reveals, but the reveals don't mean anything because we don't know what it means. Obviously, if you've seen the prologue, then you don't even know the story from watching the prologue. which is what me and you kind of discussed when we
Yeah,
saw it.
we watched it together, didn't we? And we were like, it looks great, but even with context, well, we had no context. It was just like a scene that was lifted out with no context going in, and it was great to watch. It was a great experience, but
I
I'm
think it
even
sold
now
you.
I'm trying to piece that prologue into the trailer that I've just watched, and I still can't do it. Like, it's still mad. Brinsley says, didn't people originally think this was a sequel to Inception? I don't know. I
can
always
see
knew
it.
it was a separate thing, but visually, yeah. And as like even in the casting, like Robert Pattinson, this very posh, well-spoken British guy, kind of reminds me of like the Eames kind of character, maybe a little bit from "You Mustn't Be Afraid to Dream a Little Bigger, Darling" from Inception. He's actually billed above John David Washington, at least on the Google on the cast list here, which but I think John David Washington's probably going to be the main character. He looks that way. I'm really looking forward to seeing Elizabeth Debicki. She was in, oh God, what was it called?
Widows.
Widows, that's it. She was easily my favorite thing in that movie. I thought she was fantastic in that. And I've seen clips from other films she's done. She's a very versatile actress. She was in Guardians of the Galaxy as well, wasn't she? Guardians of the Galaxy 2 as the gold woman, who was like the villain at the beginning of that film. But yeah.
Sorry, I almost cracked myself off a comment. Who is that girl with the jet black eyes standing behind you? I genuinely looked up at my screen then, thinking there was something there. I'm whispering because I don't want to wake my household up, because I've also got work in 6 hours, but Nolan's far more important. I have done many all-nighters for trailers before, mainly Star Wars, never a Nolan one, because normally they drop at human times. This was meant to drop at 5 p.m, guys. This is 8.5 hours late. Thanks, Fortnite.
Yeah. I mean, we'll round it off because I know you've got you got to get off, and we just wanted to get like a quick little reaction here. I realized that our reaction wasn't so much as a reaction; it was just us like studying every single frame, almost in silence. That's why I wanted to speak a little bit, so there was something. But
I don't think it's sorry. I don't think it's something you can have that jaw drop. Okay, had Leonardo DiCaprio turn up in a suit at the end holding a silver suitcase, oh my word, my jaw's going to hit the floor. I'm going to lose.
Is it going to be like Split, where it turns out that it's actually part of a greater universe?
I could see it. That was I know Brinsley mentioned a sequel. There was talk of people. Obviously, it's all talk. But there was talk of this being set in the same universe as Inception. But again, I think that's more to do with the fact that it's in modern. It's like one of his few modern films. But if it was to team up, I don't mind the Nolan cinematic universe. It's going to have shatter effects. I mean, Nolan Batman was grounded, right? They've brought back Ben Affleck's Batman for next year. Why not bring back Christian Bale while we're at it? We can have 3 Batmans in 1 year.
Get the multiverse going with Batman, or was it like Earth 2 or what? Earth 1, whatever it's called.
The Sony pictures of Marvel character, the Spunk. What's it called? Sorry, guys, out of context. Google the name of the official Sony Spider-Man. It's this Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters, but they've officially shortened it to Spunk. Yes, that's a real company, guys, not a 12-year-old.
That is a thing.
But no, like I said, you're spot on. You're learning. You're watching this. You want to piece it together, and you get the nice airport thing at the end, because Christopher Nolan definitely did drive a real aeroplane into a building. That's going to be the Blu-ray special features. Just how could he top, the truck? How can he top this? How can he top that? How can he top 3 Spitfires flying and him sat in the back having the time of his life? Let's just drive an aeroplane into a building. Out of context.
I'm looking forward to the meme that's going to come out, like crashing this plane with no survivors.
The music, it didn't feel as we had the one at the start, and obviously for those that don't know, Hans isn't scoring this. He's doing Dune, and Ludwig Göransson is doing this, who's obviously done Mandalorian, Creed, and Black Panther, who's a very smart choice because he's not known well enough across Hollywood to have a stereotype sound as such. You know how John Williams is like the brass instruments, Hans Zimmer's is the bombs, Giacchino's like the Williams and two. Ludwig Göransson hasn't got a stereotype as such yet, and I think that's a really smart thing to do, is get him in early. Obviously I'd have loved Zimmer, but I like the fact he's branched out and he's tried something new. Obviously, I guess another final discussion point is no release date on the trailers anymore.
They're hedging their bets at the moment, I think. we're kind of joking that everyone else has sort of caved or shifted their release dates, either pushed it back indefinitely later this year or even to next year. But Nolan at the moment is just there. He's like, hold, wait for the final moment before he moves it. Yeah, and as you sent me the poster earlier, it says coming soon to theaters. Soon's a very relative term, isn't it? So, I mean, I need to see this movie this year. I will be seeing this movie this year. Like, come hell or high water, I'm seeing this movie. This is a trailer I'm probably going to watch a whole bunch more times tomorrow. It's a waste of time trying to deconstruct it. Save that for the video analysis videos that are probably going to come out from this thing. But this is a whole thing with Nolan for me. I remember when Dark Knight came out, and granted, that's Batman. You kind of know what you're getting in for. Batman's going to punch the Joker for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you know what I mean? But I watched that trailer an unreasonable amount of times. I did the same with Inception. Inception, similar to this, I loved the trailer. I was like, I'm sold on the concept, but I know nothing about this movie. And then when you finally see it, it's just like everything, all your expectations just going in and just completely blown out of the water. And it's like, this is much bigger and much more complex than you know what you're getting in for with Nolan, though. Now you know you're going to probably have like a non-linear thing. There's going to be complexities in there. It's going to be an amazing idea, and I'll say like Nolan and Tarantino are like the only two directors left for me. Maybe Scorsese as well, who are actually bringing out original movies with, you know, as soon as I've seen one of their films, I'm already like dreaming about what their next film's going to be in however many years' time.
He's a very unique position where he is well known to the general audience. That's not a Spielberg, but if it's critically acclaimed, he's got his fan base, he's got the general audience, and he has a financial box office. Very few directors can pull that. Like, take Michael Bay. He can get the money in, but he can't get you reviews, and he can't get you Academy nominations. Take Spielberg in. Yes, everyone knows that name, but he's not a full, complete draw, and he is to me. But a lot of people, there's so many Spielberg films, he kind of drops off, and not every Spielberg film gets that, you know, that gravitas of the new Spielberg film. And obviously this year he's trying to get into the Oscar stuff with what's it called? The musical that he's been working on.
West Side Story.
Yeah, so without getting on the Oscar talk, because they might postpone the Oscars, if this hits its July release date, obviously I'll be happy. Obviously, I don't want this to be a decision like it's coming out in July regardless. If there is a point, obviously, where the survival of the human race is more important, then I completely get postponing it. My only worry is there's reports from reliable outlets saying that like the whole cinema box office depends on this now. They reckon if this moves, everyone's going to move it, and they've already moved everything once, which is why this was kind of like the last man standing. Like Wonder Woman's got an August slot. One report said that this will get the August slot and Wonder Woman will get Dune, and then the report that came out after said Tenet will just go straight to December and get Dune slot. I want to see this film. They've confirmed it's been completed. That's the big thing. The film is done. Very quickly, comment by Brinsley. Would you guys watch it at home instead of the cinema?
No.
After I've seen it many times at the IMAX and I have myself a nice 4K copy, only then would I consider watching it at home. But choice, never. And I think that's another big thing where we know Nolan's not going to go to Netflix or put it online at home because he'd probably rather the film never got released. But they were crystal clear with the in cinemas. That was the big thing, in cinemas. So that's reassurance. I think the other thing, like if Warner Bros. Turn around and was like, we're putting it online, Christopher Nolan's not going to do another film with Warner Brothers ever again. It's this trust level where they've got his back, he's got theirs. He's a guaranteed success for them. Obviously, they didn't get the rights to Bond, which is probably why I don't think he directed one yet. But Tenet, again, it's just something new. We all moan. As much as I like Star Wars sequels and I don't mind some Disney things, but everything is a sequel. We need original stuff like this. And how about a $200 million original film?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. JX said and Brinsley about the watching it at home. I would, if I could break curfew and go to someone's house and watch it on a very nice, massive 4K TV with surround sound from a safe 2 meter distance away, obviously, and watch it, then I probably would. If there was no other options, like if it was released and said this isn't going to be coming to theaters anytime soon, it's just going to be on here, I probably would cave and watch it. But it's with a Nolan film, it's got to be the cinema experience. Even for the one I didn't like, Dark Knight Rises. Of course, you got to see it on like the biggest sound system you can, the biggest screen that you can. I just know that there is so much more of this movie that they haven't showed in trailers. Guarantee, 100%. Like when the biggest thing in your trailer is just a plane going through a thing. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a real plane, and he really did that, and it looks amazing. Like that got the biggest reaction from us probably in the trailer. But I know there's going to be more to it than just like a bit of a car chase and a plane nudging into a building and exploding. Especially with that concept of the whole reversing. I'm going to say keep reversing time. I know it's not, but it kind of is.
I mean, look at Interstellar. No one in the world knew Matt Damon was going to be in that film. And it was kind of a cameo, but that's a big name that didn't get caught out by they caught Liam Neeson filming Dark Knight Rises, but they didn't catch Matt Damon filming Interstellar. So not necessarily casting surprise, but Nolan can still keep a secret. When it comes, I think I told you before that I spent the first 40 minutes of Dunkirk thinking the second pilot was Ewan McGregor because he had the blue eyes, the kind of spot on the head, and the Scottish accent. I was convinced it was Ewan. He'd pulled a blinder, and obviously he took the helmet off and he was actually a kid. But I think there is so much they're not showing us. And as you said, if you have seen the prologue online, or if you did see it at cinema, then you can match up some of the bigger action beats from that. So maybe there's a bit of an impact lost there because we both seen some moments from this. But I think one that the final images this had of me was the body being pulled backwards, like he's like shuffling on the floor. Like that's obviously a reverse something. But I'm just curious to see everything. And there's rumors they're going to release a book. Pre-orders are coming out for like The Secrets of Tenet. It's going to get formally announced on Friday. Obviously, if they postpone the film, they'll postpone the book too. But again, it's a known film where I want to learn everything. And tomorrow I'm going to watch this a fair few times to study it. Not as overboard as I used to get, not frame by frame, but certainly. I mean, my dad came up to me earlier, like, "Is that Tenet trailer?" Yeah, I was like, "No." I was like, "I'll show it to you tomorrow." So yeah, I'm very curious, and I'm intrigued to see how this does with the general public too.
Same. Last thing I'll say before we round off. Obviously, we drew the comparisons to Inception, but I just remember when you mentioned about the guy being dragged along before it's happened, maybe a bit of Memento as well. How with Memento you sort of work back sequentially, try and work out what happened. That whole reverse thing. If you can bring that in a more immediate sense into the action scene, not like how the whole film was structured that way, and then you get the reveal at the end, which is actually the beginning, but that similar concept to like the actual moment that the action's taking place. It sounds like it's going to be a film where you're seeing stuff happen, obviously, before it's happened, and then you're trying to be 2 steps ahead of everything and try and work out what's going to happen. The more I talk about this film, the more excited I am, and Corona needs to hurry up and go away, at least for July, so I can go and see this movie. But yeah, I mean, I've said everything I probably can, and there's probably a lot more we could say, but I know that it's very late, and I know that we've got some UK viewers watching now that are also staying up pretty late, so I guess, do you have anything else to say on it? Or
not at the minute. Maybe on Saturday we'll use this to tease our big. We've got a comedy live stream we're going to do. It's not us doing comedy, guys. We're not stand-up comedians, but there's a film to pick from: Tropic Thunder, Dumb and Dumber, or Dodgeball. Vote that on social medias. I reckon we're going to talk about Tenet during that live stream, aren't we? We'll get Tate's opinion. We'll talk a lot about Nolan, but obviously, guys, do vote on social media. The polls up on Twitter. There'll be Facebook and posts and stuff like that. So you got day to vote. We'll let you know on Saturday what we're watching, but we'll definitely talk Tenet. Imagine Dodgeball like in reverse, like a Nolan thing. That'd be amazing. But that's everything I've got to say. And also, if you did miss it earlier, we went live for our sci-fi quiz, and there's a brilliant moment where I read out an Inception question. And then I get a text from my friend saying that the Tenet trailer comes out at 1 a.m. today. And the timing of that, that was definitely fate.
When that text came through, it was just like internally, it was the Inception wham sound effect when that came through. But yeah, we'll round off anyway because it is very late. But thank you to everyone that has tuned in and watched this along with us and got the discussion going. As you just said, we'll be back on Saturday for our watch along, our comedy watch along. Get voting, and we'll see you then 8 p.m. UK time on Saturday. Thanks for watching, guys.